The Cleveland Browns have a major issue heading into their Week 12 matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to break it down here on today's show, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But welcome into the Browns Report, everybody. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue. And there's one thing I need from you guys, from the real diehard Browns fans out there today. Can we go on over to X? Search up at Joey070, because I need all the diehard Browns fans I can to help me out this week. I'm getting haters, I'm getting Shedeur haters and everybody. I need diehard Browns fans to give me a follow. Can we gain 25 followers on this show so we get some good vibes going for Cleveland's matchup on Sunday? Going over to X at Joey070. All right, Cleveland, there's something I got to be honest about here. I'm getting worried about something. I've been breaking down a lot of film, looking at a lot of Browns highlights and every play from Shedeur's debut, and something's troubling me that we haven't really had a chance to talk about in depth here on the show, even though everybody knows it's bad. But the Cleveland Browns offensive line, specifically their tackles, are some of the worst in the National Football League. PFF graded 76 total offensive tackles. The Cleveland Browns have Corenlius Lucas at 75th with a 42.9 grade. Cam Robinson's is 43.4. That's 74th. Mind you, they only graded 76. We nearly have the bottom three. KT Leveston is 44.7 at 73rd. And our best one is Jack Conklin, but he just has a measly 57.3, and he's up to 57th. This has been an issue all season long for the Cleveland Browns. It's our tackles on the outside getting beat. And what the hell are we doing? This is against the Ravens. Just sending a free runner right at Shedeur. There's three guys trying to block one defender. What are we doing? You then go to the 4th and 5 play where this is obviously what ended the game, and Wyatt Teller gets beat immediately. Shedeur's barely started his drop back, and if you look, there's no open receivers there. What are we supposed to do in situations like this? I could show you some more. Let's go to a 3rd down play here. Early in the 3rd quarter. It's KT Leveston, and this time Jerome Ford is completely turned around. You see him circled, doing nothing for the offense. This play results in a sack. Next up, it's another 3rd down play. I mean, seriously, in the most crucial moments, what are we doing? Ethan Pocic gets beat, and Shedeur has to run backwards, and he gets sacked once again. It's an issue that goes on, and it was all over the Ravens game. And it's everybody on the offensive line. It's even the veterans. Joel Bitonio gets beat. You see Conklin getting beat on the outside as well. Shedeur has to get out of the pocket. He runs forward for a few yards, but it's 3rd and long. Doesn't get you past the sticks. I could show you clips and photos of this all day long, but this is literally just in the second half of the Ravens game, and there are consistent moments where Cleveland's getting beat on the offensive line. PFF ranked Cleveland's offensive line, and well, funny enough, these are two of the worst in the league that you're going to see on Sunday. So the Browns have the 30th ranked offensive line, and the Raiders have the 31st. If you're new to the NFL, there's only 32 teams. So there's only one team that's worse than both of them. And this is going to be probably a matchup that, well, two of the best edge rushers in the league will play in. Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, and Shedeur. You know, one thing about his game that people harp on or knock on is he does have a habit of sort of running backwards a little bit, right? He will try to run out of the pressure, and what we've seen, there's been pressure in his face constantly in the Rams preseason game and in this Ravens game, and so there are moments where he will spin out of a sack and extend a play, and that's a positive. There's others where there's just no getting away from it, and it results in an even bigger loss and more sack yards for the opposing team. So it is concerning, this Browns offensive line for me. It's been bad for every quarterback that has been under center this season. Flacco, Gabriel, you name it. Now, I do think Shedeur can provide a little bit more than Flacco and Gabriel could. He's a little bit more mobile. Like I said, he will extend plays at times, and I think it's more essential than ever this week that we protect him in his first start. That offensive line has got to get it together. Otherwise, it might not look pretty. And I hate to say that, but I really do think that that should be the biggest focus for Cleveland, not only preparing for this Sunday, but in the offseason, in the NFL draft, because it is ruining quarterbacks' development here. And when protection held up on the few plays that it did against the Ravens, Shedeur made some nice throws. He had a couple decent ones. Here, late in the fourth quarter, this is clutch time. You're down a touchdown. The protection was pretty good. And what did Shedeur do? It's a dot to Harold Fannin Jr. You can hit that one over the middle. 25-yard completion. Again, this got them out to the 40 is where Fannin ended up getting tackled. I mean, they were putting together a drive here. There's also a moment that, man, if this touchdown was caught by Gage Larvadan in the back of the end zone, I mean, take a look at this. Awuzie gets a hand in there. If Larvadan secures this, the conversation is completely different, and it was a game-time touchdown to force overtime. So if the offensive line could just protect for a little bit to give Shedeur a chance to do enough on offense, because I imagine our defense will keep us well in this game. And there's a real shot for the Browns to win it, but I'm getting worried because of what I've seen all year from the tackles specifically on the outside. So how about this, Browns fans? A fun little prediction, because the Raiders' offensive line is, as I showed you, nearly just as bad, if not worse. How many total sacks will we see on Sunday for the Browns and Raiders combined? Comment that number in the comment section, because a lot of people are thinking it's going to be one of the most sacked games in NFL history. Call it right now in the comment section. Coming up, we're going to talk about a wide receiver signing that the Cleveland Browns made. Could impact this Sunday, maybe even benefit Shedeur a little bit before we get going. But before I tell you about that, I do want to give a special shout out to our friends over at PrizePicks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with PrizePicks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Football is in full swing now on Sundays, and I'm big into daily fantasy with PrizePicks. I love doing it. I'm obsessed with it. It makes all the games more entertaining, and even the Browns games. So before the Browns play, I lock in on all my players in my lineup and their player projections. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. You can also follow other PrizePicks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button. Check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on PrizePicks. You may find my lineup in there, and you know I got to put Shedeur in it for his first start. More than half a passing touchdown and more than 157.5 passing yards. I love it. Also threw in Michael Badgley for more than half a field goal made. Should be an easy one to help me win some money. You can do the same if you download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it is good to be right. All right, let's talk about the latest addition to the Cleveland Browns roster / practice squad. More specifically, Cleveland has signed Kaden Davis once again to the practice squad. Mary Kay telling us that he's back, and Shedeur has a comfort level with him, so I expect him to be elevated for the Raiders game. I think this could be beneficial for our young rookie quarterback. Kaden Davis was a preseason standout. Remember, he caught 2 touchdowns that we're going to look at in the Panthers preseason game with Shedeur. And Shedeur, having never gotten first-team reps up until this point, he was practicing with a lot of the young developmental wide receivers like Gage Larvadan, like Kaden Davis. And so this could be something that's more beneficial for him. Remember Shedeur's first touchdown pass in the Panthers game. It was through 2 Panthers defenders. We can take a look at this right now, actually. Look at it. Perfect throw, tight window. Kaden Davis, a 6'1" wide receiver, comes away with it. And now let's go to touchdown 2. This time, Shedeur was facing pressure, right? And that's when running back, who we missed from the preseason, Amari Marshall, has an incredible pickup block. Shedeur slides over to the right, and he's looking downfield. What I love about it in this specific play is his eyes stay downfield after evading the pressure. And then, boom, it's another dot into the end zone to guess who? Kaden Davis for the touchdown. It's low, away from the defender. This is what really got us juiced up in the preseason. And so having him back out there, if he is elevated, like Mary Kay tells us he will be, I think could really benefit Cleveland and Shedeur having a more comfortable target. Now, a reporter asked Shedeur if the young developmental wide receivers, they like to call themselves the hungry dogs, could get an opportunity because Shedeur's starting, right? Could Shedeur get some of those younger guys to play this Sunday. And Shedeur had a pretty funny response to that. He said, see, I ain't got that much motion here yet. I don't have that much motion. I got to win some games. I got to do what I got to do to be able to make some requests around here. But right now, I'm just excited to be on the field right now. Funny answer there from Shedeur. And I do think, like I said, having Davis will be one of those young receivers if he does get elevated. That could help. He's joked last week that Gage Larvadan was the only one he'd really thrown to before, and that was the throw that almost had the game-tying touchdown. So we will see who gets the reps. Jamari Thrash was a healthy scratch last Sunday. He didn't practice once again, and so I don't expect him to be out there if Cleveland's going to stray away from him and continue using guys like Malachi Corley and Isaiah Bond. Look out for that. We will be here covering it for you. But let's have a little fun here with the Kaden Davis prop pick. If his line is 0.5 receptions, type more or less in the comment section. Do you think he gets a catch if he plays? Rarely does he see regular season action at all. But if Cleveland elevates him, give me a more or less on Kaden Davis getting a catch this Sunday. That's going to do it for us here on the Browns Report in today's edition of the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single update on the Cleveland Browns or Shedeur Sanders. Just subscribe, join the party, and we'll see you next time.